Week 0, we're back at Martin Luther King High. I'm Ghazal, he's Jeff, and it's Hillcrest and Riverside Poly about to get going. We're not from Grand Terrace, by the way. We were at Martin Luther King, as far as I know.
I hope so.
That's where my car is parked, at least.
That is true. But how great is it to be back here for high school football in the fall?
Yeah, week 0, we missed the whole fall of football. We did get that shortened spring season, but it certainly is nice to be back sitting next to you, my friend, and calling some football. Hey, and let's give credit to the City of Riverside and Riverside TV for at least we did get to do 4 or 5 games in the spring, which I thought was important, Jeff.
We did them all, and I'll tell you what, it was a surreal environment, but it was great for the kids. It was great for the parents, for those seniors that missed so much school the year before. And I'll tell you what, I couldn't sleep last night, Ghazal, because I was thinking about high school football and actually having it back here in Riverside.
Coin toss going on in front of us. And it's Hillcrest and Poly as we see. And looks like Poly won the toss. They will defer, so we'll see the Hillcrest offense out first. And they were pretty potent last year, Jeff. They were 5-0, and they rolled through the River Valley League. Very impressive. You and Pep Fernandez got to call an impressive win for them over Norte Vista.
I'll tell you what, that was one of the better jobs I've seen anybody in high school football do. Travis Carter, I got to tip my cap to him, did a great job in that shortened season. He had some great athletes. And I'll tell you what, they really took care of business on the offensive side of the football and the defensive side of the football.
Riverside Poly, John, I've never seen John Rice as optimistic and kind of looking forward to his season as I did before the year. He's been around a long time, and I think he really believes in this group for the Bears. Took a few lumps over that spring season. They were 2-3, but they learned. They got better. And he actually was really kind of philosophical about it. He said, all we're doing now is we're just looking at things we can improve from game to game to game. I have full faith in the staff. I have full faith in the players that do the right things. But listen, this is football. It's tough. You're going to make mistakes. The key is you need to learn from them.
Yeah, and also you got to think of it this way. Riverside Poly was dominant for, since the 30s for the most part. But in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, they were a dominant force in Riverside. And they did take a little bit of a dip. But John Rice, just in the last year, he had 50-plus guys buy into the program in that freshman team. And they continued through the spring and the summer. And I'll tell you, he thinks it's the biggest jump that they've had in years. And I have to agree with him. He's got a lot of confidence in his young ball club.
Diego Rodriguez and Trey Williams, 2 young guys, are back deep for Hillcrest. And Poly about to take the field. Their place kicker, Eli Dejanef, will kick off and will be underway momentarily. A little bit of a delay here. But we mentioned, old school versus new school. Who was president? I'm going to quiz you. I'm going to do the Nick Rice to you. Who was president when Riverside Poly opened?
I would have to say Taft.
I think Taft was later.
Was he later?
I want to say it was William Big Bill McKinley, but maybe you're right.
William Big Bill McKinley.
Big Bill McKinley.
You know what? You just Nick Riced me. But he wouldn't have even known any of those guys.
He would have known Taft or McKinley. Yeah. Fair enough.
Oh, that's great. But how wonderful is it? Ghazal, you look amazing. I'm telling you, I haven't seen you in a while. It's great to see the entire group back. It's great to see all of Riverside back. I was schmoozing before the game. I'll tell you, it's great to have this feeling of high school football back.
I haven't seen you in person in a while, but I have to admit I cheated. I watched your coach's report. Nice job interviewing both Coach Rice and Coach Carter. Did you get the Iago reference?
Yes, I did. Of course I did.
That's a little dark. Like Coach Rice, we've known him a long time. And for those who don't know, Coach John Rice, when he was at John W. North, taught English, and he was a big Shakespeare guy. And for him to say his favorite character was Iago, that's a little dark because John Rice is a nice guy, and Iago, not so nice a character in the play Othello.
And I was a little surprised that he said that he liked Star Trek over Star Wars.
Yeah, some people you just can't explain.
I can't. But I do.
What do the kids say today? If you know, you know, right?
Exactly.
So Dejanef tees it up as we said. Diego Rodriguez back deep with Trey Williams. Travis Carter very high on Trey Williams. Let's see where they go. Kickoff looks like it's going to be fielded by Rodriguez just inside the 10. Rodriguez kind of high-stepping. Veers to the outside, turns at the 40. Dejanef gets in the way, slows him up, and then coming over top to make the tackle for Poly is Ben Medura. So Medora brings him down. Nice return, about a 45-yard return into Poly territory.
So a good start here from Hillcrest. And talking about the athletes that they lost, heck, you see this young man right now, Trey Williams, a junior, just another one of those good athletes at Hillcrest.
So that's Williams split out to the bottom of your screen. To the top of your screen, Norwood Nehemiah. Watch him. He's got some speed. Yunus Abdurrahman also out to the top of the screen. And Brandon Zabatos got some speed and some good hands. Caleb Dominguez takes the snap. Little RPO here. Misdirection. He traverses over the 45 to about the 43-yard line. A 3-yard pickup for Caleb Dominguez. You may remember his older brother, Elijah Dominguez, a couple of years ago. He was a big player for John Brandon and these Hillcrest Trojans.
That's right. And talking to Coach Carter before the game, it's had some high praise for this senior quarterback.
So 4-yard pickup, call it the 42. Second down for Hillcrest. Again, a little misdirection. Dominguez keeps it to the 36 before he's triple tackle there. The first man to the ball, Larry Morris, from his defensive back position for Riverside Poly.
Yeah, Larry Morris, one of the upperclassmen for this very young Bears team.
So line of scrimmage 36, our good friend Yancey Dotson on the chain gang moves the sticks. 1st and 10 Hillcrest. 4th play of the drive. He'll throw to the outside. Man coverage. Intended receiver Nehemiah Norwood. A flag comes in.
You say Nehemiah, you talked about that quickness. Remember Ronaldo Nehemiah?
I asked Coach Carter, I said, hey, was he named after Ronaldo? Because, it was a big deal.
Track guy going playing. He played for the Chargers, didn't he, for a short time?
I think he was in the Niners.
Was
He was a big Olympic hurdler who ended up in
great.
football. Was it 87? Because, he was in the 88 Olympics. So it would have been late 80s, 89 into the early 90s. That's back to those great Niner teams under Bill Walsh and George Seifert. A little caucus going on just to the left of the 30-yard line. And somebody held somebody. Oh, it's a hold. The hold's going to be against Hillcrest. I thought it might be holding by the defensive back, but instead they'll back it off for Hillcrest. So first down still to the 26, so call it a first and about 14. The give up the middle, dragging tacklers for a couple of yards. Big number 44 for Hillcrest. That's Adam Polito. Polito pressing the duty. The normal tailback is Christian Pinnell, and Pinnell tweaked his ankle in the scrimmage and is unavailable today.
So they had to bring guys from different positions and fill them in at the backs for Coach Carter.
Joshua Smith on the tackle got help from John Rice Jr. Second down coming up. 2-by-2, but right up the middle, rumbling for a first down and more. Down to the 20-yard line is the aforementioned Adam Polito.
Great run there.
Larry Morris on the tackle, and they'll move the sticks. Your guy Yancey Dotson getting a little cardio in here in the first quarter. Nice drive by Hillcrest. Started in Poly territory. They've moved the ball well on the ground with the big boys. Polito again, dive play, maybe a yard on the play. And let's talk about those big boys up front for Hillcrest. That's where it's going to begin and end for the Trojans. Elias Capote, Christian Benitez, Daniel Smith, Yahir Ruvalcabla, and Isaac Antolin. Now, they're missing Malu Tata. He's one of their big starters. He's actually a two-way player, offense and defense. He's unavailable today.
Yeah, one of the lone seniors on that line.
2nd and 8. Dominguez reverses field. He's in trouble. In and out of the hands of the intended receiver, Yunus Abdurrahman, bring up 3rd down.
Nice rollout, though. Got himself some space. Plenty of time to throw the football.
Big Keaton Stokely giving chase, the young sophomore defensive lineman.
I'm sure he would love to have that shot again. Norwood was wide open there.
Williams to the bottom of your screen in the near slot, Abdurrahman. 3rd and 8 for Hillcrest from the 18. More pressure from Stokely, complete but a short pass inside the 20, down to about the 17-yard line, 4th down upcoming. And I'd imagine, I thought they'd go for it, but now it looks like some personnel changing up. They're going to go for the field goal. How about that? So Daniel DeAnda on, great athlete from what Coach Carter tells me, soccer player.
That's right.
Who's playing football. So this will be about a 33-yard kick. He'll kick out of the hold of Jaden Bishop. Kick on the way, got the distance. Is it accurate? Indeed it is. Yes, indeed, splits the uprights. 3-0 Hillcrest on the field goal by Daniel DeAnda.
And you know how much we love kickers. There aren't too many of them that we get to really talk about. He could be our new guy this year.
If nothing else, so I was joking with the coaches before the game about my friend Jeff Gorham called you the Bill Walton of high school football. But you have this thing for kickers. Most announcers dislike kickers. You, on the other hand, are very fond of kickers. Jeff.
Because, we've seen them in so many times. The great kicker, I can't remember his name, was at Citrus Hill. There was a great one at Norco. And then we had the jumbo kickers last year. Remember, we had 300-plus pound guys. And every coach in the entire city wanted to bring a bigger kicker. And they would always tell us, hey, I have a 315-pounder.
It's a copycat league. You're right. Football success breeds success. But DeAnda, it's interesting because he was saying that, I forget because where I grew up, football and soccer are the same season.
Exactly.
I forget that in Southern California, soccer is a winter sport, so you can do both.
You can, and we've seen great kickers in this area win ball games, and it just tells you how special teams are if you can have somebody that can put some points on the board.
Tajon Henderson back deep along with Ben Medora. Here's Medora bringing it out of the end zone after DeAnda's kick. He's shifty, moving along, and B's tackled just over the 20-yard line. Looks like Jaden Bishop was the first man there, and that's where Poly will start on the offense. How about a little bit of a switcheroo here? John Rice, who for many years has been a defensive coach, Jeff, he's running the offense this year, or calling the offense for Poly.
He's Air Coryell. It's Air Rice. But see, he still has his good buddy, Bill Powell, who's a legend in everybody's mind, I should say, helping out as well. So we're going to have a two-headed monster on offense here with Coach Rice and Powell.
Ball on the turf. Looks like Poly recovered. Quarterback for Poly. How about this combination? Michael Luna is a senior. He's the quarterback. Also plays linebacker for the Poly defense. How about that, Jeff?
I love it. I love guys that play both ways.
Low snap, and Luna, just discretion the better part of valor, just picked it up and took the knee, a 2-yard loss. 2nd down coming up. 3-0 Hillcrest. They started deep in Poly territory, but the Bear defense did a nice job to hold them to 3. Now we'll get a look at the Hillcrest defense. They're young, Jeff, but they're fleet of foot and pretty talented. Here's the handoff, running to the right side, little shifty juke move over the 25-yard line. On the carry for Poly is Johnny Monforte. So Monforte tackled by Prado. Prado's the leader of that defense, Jeff, for Hillcrest. He's the lone senior starting tonight, and Coach Carter told me, he took big steps in the offseason to really kind of take ownership and be a leader on that defense because they're so young. A lot of juniors and sophomores on the defense for Hillcrest.
Yeah, he was a big part of that championship run last year in the River Valley League.
Luna to throw on 3rd down. 2 receivers in the vicinity. Neither of them caught it. Makai Alexander was the closest to it. Also in the vicinity was Bailey Brown, and John Rice really high on Bailey Brown, his senior wideout, and the punt team on for Poly. So it'll be good field position, Jeff, again for Hillcrest. Back to receive for Hillcrest is Trey Williams. In to punt, Eli Dejaneuf for Poly.
So a little nerves in that first series. But pretty mistake-free football, I have to say, considering early in the year like this.
Nice kick it's a short kick, but it's a good kick that turns over, and Williams has to call for the fair catch at the 45-yard line of Hillcrest. So a 28-yard kick, no return. and that's where Hillcrest will tee it up for their second possession. They lead this one 3-0 here in the first quarter. Ghazal Hassan with you, along with Jeff Gorham. So happy to be back calling high school football here in the city of Riverside on Riverside TV. And the whole team is back, the whole crew back.
I know, it's wonderful.
Scott Brocious in the truck, along with Carrie on the graphics, and Ross is here. Ryan's here.
Oh, yeah, that Ryan guy. He's always here.
Polito, right up the middle, driving to midfield on that bell at midfield, and he gets up. Good 5-yard run on first down. Hillcrest keeps the sticks moving, clock moving, excuse me.
You know, they used to be coached by John Brandom, a local guy. You know, he was at Corona. He played at Poly. He coached.
He played on a CIF championship team, right?
He played for Mike Churchill over at Riverside Poly when they won the CIF championship. And I'll tell you what, I bet if he's watching, who's he hoping wins?
That's true. There's Prado playing some offense and touchdown. A 50-yard run by Jonathan Prado. Little change of pace for Hillcrest, and the senior goes the distance.
And no one even close to him. So a great play call by Coach Carter and the Trojans.
So twice they started pretty good field position, and the field goal the first time, they would not be denied this time. The big play by the senior, and DeAnda back for the PAT.
Nobody within 5 yards of him.
Like Elvis Costello, his aim is true, and it's 10-0 in favor of Hillcrest. They're going to look at the Prado run, and it's almost like he was surprised at how open it was. He's kind of waiting for somebody to hit him, and he's just dancing down the sideline. Once he breaks to the second level, there's nobody in front of him. So they really caught Poly's defense off guard. Nice play call there by Travis Carter.
Great job. Hey, they look just like they did at the end of last year. Dominant so far.
You take the 2 off of Prado's jersey. Looks like Manny Roberts.
That's right.
Running up and down the field. Robert, by the way, along with Shane Scheel and Nathan Bernal, who all played last year for that championship team, they're all at Orange Coast College, Jeff, together.
Wow. We're going to have some. In fact, we're going to have RCC games on Riverside TV this year.
I think you're going to see OCC, actually.
I believe we are. In fact, we have Saddleback in 2 weeks, I think. Riverside.
So Larry Morris back deep, along with Ben Madura, and this one is going to be a touchback. So it'll come out to the 20-yard line. I'll tell you what, we're at 6 minutes into this first quarter. Daniel DeAndo is a big addition to this Hillcrest team.
I'll tell you what, I've told you how much I enjoy kickers. And if you have a good one, guy can place the ball wherever he wants, he can be a dangerous threat for Hillcrest.
And especially in recent years, you remember some years ago when you didn't have a good kicker, it was almost a detriment as we get a look at John Rice. But it's almost the opposite now. Sometimes not having a great kicker won't hurt you, but I'll tell you what, when you have a good kicker and punter, definitely helps you.
It changes the game. I firmly believe if you have a good kicker, a good punter.
From the 20-yard line, Poly, they trail 10-0. Luna with the give. Running to the left, trying to burrow for more yardage is Angel Sanchez, the senior running back linebacker, and grades for maybe 1.5 yards on the play, bringing up second down.
You know, talking to Coach Rice, he says, you know, he just hopes to get better and better every single game. Play mistake-free football, and if you can build upon those blocks, he thinks he'll be quite successful later as the season goes on.
This time Luna will keep it, and he finds some space up the middle. Luna up to the 35, written down from behind, kind of a flying tackle by Nathaniel Navarro of Hillcrest. So about a 15-yard pickup to the 35, sticks move up. Yancey Dotson is on the move again on the sideline.
He hasn't moved this much in years.
That's not fair.
That is not
Wasn't
fair.
he a great tennis player in high school?
He's the best tennis player I ever saw playing in tennis. In fact, he and I played a lot of tennis together. He and his dad were the doubles champions of the city of Riverside for years.
Is he still coaching basketball?
He is. Yancey is still coaching.
In motion for Poly is Bailey Brown, and whistles and flags come in. It'll be a false start on Poly. They'll move back 5 yards. You watch Hard Knocks?
I do.
Remember the kid from the Ivory Coast, the defensive end for Dallas?
Yes.
How sad was it? He gets a big play, and it's
then-
wiped off from a false start. I'm going to think about that all year. Kamara is the young
Yes,
man's
right,
last name. Whole family's in the stands.
Yes.
He gets a sack, but then the sack doesn't exist because they wiped the play off.
Exactly.
Oh,
They're talking to Yancey. He had to find guys, call guys to sub for the chain gang. Original chain gang couldn't make it tonight.
1st and 15. Luna to load it up and throw. Bailey Brown skids a little bit and spins out of the tackle. 40-45, finally written down from behind. First man to him for Hillcrest was Gabriel Luna. Also in on the hit, Trey Williams. But another first down for Poly. They get the passing game going here, Jeff.
Looking good. In fact, missed tackle by Hillcrest. Early season jitters. Just missed, but what a great play to spin out of it to make the big play.
Yeah, had him dead to rights. Actually, and that's a short-handed tackler. That's Jonathan Prado. Brown in the far slot. Luna will keep. Luna running hard. Luna into Hillcrest territory, bent back at about the 36. It's about a 14-yard pickup there. Again, breaks the first tackle, and that's just inexperience. Gets by Joshua Baca, and then how about that straight arm there?
Boy, they're really attacking that right side of the defensive line there. Let's see if they continue to go there.
I mean, this is kind of Hillcrest game plan, run behind
Yeah.
the big boys up front. And Poly's got some big boys, too. The Fuentes brothers, Jacob and Christian, Enrique Guzman, Nicholas Padilla, James Luna, who's the quarterback's cousin. Right up the gut. Slamming to the 30-yard line for 6 more yards is the tailback Angel Sanchez.
And talking to Coach Rice earlier this week on the coach's perspective, he told me, he says, we haven't been able to lift weights in our weight room. They've been lifting out on the track. They bring out all the weights on the track.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been a different year, but you can tell the strength of these guys. Both of these teams look really, really strong and very conditioned tonight. No one's grabbing their knees and showing they're tired. They look like they're in really good shape so far.
Bailey Brown split out to the near side. Now coming in motion is Alexander Mackay. The give on the inside didn't fool anybody on that time. Swarming in and making the play, Wyatt Scroggins from his defensive end position.
Maybe that's why they're not attacking that left side of the defensive line. What a great stick there.
That's just it moves, you go. And he went right at the first object that was moving was Angel Sanchez, and he dropped him in his tracks for a loss back to the 32-yard line. First down inside the 30 to the 26. So 3rd and 6 coming up for Poly. The defense for Hillcrest, the 4-3 alignment. A little trickeration there. It's complete to Mackay Alexander. And inside the 20 for the first down. Mackay Alexander makes the catch. And a little trickeration there as Will Cloak stepped in and threw that ball.
Yeah, great play.
So I don't know if Luna was injured or whatnot or banged up, but Will Cloak, the junior quarterback, made that completion. Now, Coach Rice did say they're going to play a couple of quarterbacks, so maybe Luna's more the option quarterback and Cloak more the thrower. We're in Peyton Manning's number, the Hall of Famer. Throw to the outside. Incomplete. Intended for Bailey Brown on the coverage for Hillcrest in there, Levi Murgy.
Yeah, Will Cloak kind of hit himself in the chest and told Coach Rice, hey, my fault. But he did show great poise in the pocket there. Just kind of had to throw off a little bit, a little outside, but.
New defense. The defensive scheme, I guess, is the same for Hillcrest. They have a new defensive coordinator. We'll tell you about him after this play. 2nd and 10 coming up on the 17 of the Trojans. Been a good drive. Started back at the 20-yard line of Poly. Will change of direction, handoff, trying to dance for some yardage down to the 15-yard line. That was Israel Morales on the carry. So Morales down to the 10-yard line. Nice gain on that play of about 7 yards. Tackle by Gabe Luna for Hillcrest. Nice drive thus far, Jeff. They've driven 70 yards, and it's a third down situation. I would imagine this is 4-down territory.
Yeah, playing methodical, smart football.
So Sanchez, the tailback, Luna back in at quarterback. Alexander to the bottom of your screen, and the near slot is Bailey Brown, and a flag goes in. New defensive coordinator for Hillcrest, Jeff. Talked with him briefly before the game, Ahmad Noor. Noor, you may know, remember, 12 years at Rancho Verde. He worked for Pete Duffy, then worked for our buddy Jeff Steinberg, and then Pete Duffy came back, and he's been a linebacker coach. He's coached the wide receivers. He spent the last couple of years kind of being that defensive film guy, so he's very comfortable on the defensive side of the football, and Coach Carter was really excited about having him on the staff.
I'll tell you what, that pedigree right there, you just mentioned Rancho Verde, Pete Duffy, one of the great coaches, Jeff Steinberg, possibly one of the best coach in this area. Wow, that's a great hire by Coach Carter.
So the penalty on Hillcrest, it'll be a first down, first and goal from the 6, and Luna with the fake to the outside. He leans to the goal line. Did they say he's in? They say he is stopped. So second down inside the 1. Clock continues to move at the end of the first quarter here. Touchdown saving tackle made at the end of that play by Diego Rodriguez for Hillcrest.
Both teams here starting to show some poise on offense.
So here comes the jumbo package for Poly. James Luna, who's normally an offensive lineman, is in at fullback. Here's the give to the outside behind Luna, but he has stood up at the goal line. How about that? Ball carrier on the play. Johnny Monforte gets stood up by the left side of that defensive line for Hillcrest.
It looks like Luna was just a little bit too quick on that first block. Timing was a little off on that play.
End of the first quarter, a bunch of white shirts there. Gabe Luna, I think, delivered the coup de grace for Hillcrest, and will switch sides of the field. So 10-0 after the first quarter, and it's been a pretty clean, pretty quick game so far, Jeff.
It's been fun. Like I said, we've called games. I think this is our 6th year calling games, and the first game of the year is usually, the first quarter lasts 40, 45, 50 minutes because there's a call on every other play. But both teams came in. They look very organized, very, very focused, and we've had a great game here in the first 12 minutes of football.
And just, for week 0, you expect it to be a little bit sloppy in week 0. And these teams, most of them played in the spring, pretty crisp thus far.
And talking about that, I think
I don't want to jinx it. Now all of a sudden we'll see a bunch of flags come out.
We don't want that. We'll be home at midnight. But we will say this, maybe playing in the spring really, help these younger guys kind of, be ready for tonight. They didn't play 7-on-7. A lot of the stuff that they normally do in the offseason, they didn't have a chance to do, but they did do a lot of practicing, and you can definitely tell these guys have been working on their offense and defensive sets.
Second quarter about to begin. It's 3rd and goal inside the 1 for Poly. The jumbo alignment again. Here's the give. And again, the defense there. Goal line stand coming up. It's going to be 4th down. Nose around the football for Joshua Baca, getting up from the pile. For Hillcrest, also Levy Murgy. Israel Morales on the carry for Poly, held up. And now it's 4th and goal. So here we go, Jeff.
Great stance by the Trojans here. The Bears are going to have to call timeout and see if what they're going to do.
It's interesting, the offensive line for Poly was going to be one of their strengths. They're pretty big. They have a couple of starters returning. But Hillcrest also, that defensive line is very young. Only one senior, Wyatt Scroggins, but they've been up to the challenge.
They sure have. And you look at the toughness and strength of these guys, and I really feel that, we're going to see a lot of that this year. We're going to see teams that are definitely, you can tell, have been working in the weight room, working on their fitness. Like I said, guys don't look really tired right now. That's something very indicative of a week 0 game, is guys are usually beat by this at this time of the game, and they look like they're ready.
I was talking to Coach Noor before the game about his decision, and he said, "Hey, there was going to be continuity at Rancho Verde. Would have been happy to stay there. However, he's got a little boy, and he's got his boy's getting ready to go to high school in a couple of years, and he lives right around the corner from Hillcrest, and it was just a nice fit. And Coach Carter's happy to have him. He's happy to be there, and his defense thus far been up to the challenge. Big play coming up for them right here.
Yeah, that line has been really dominant here on the goal line.
So Morales the tailback. Sanchez sets up as the fullback. Let's see if they run right. Haven't had much luck on the left side. Let's see if they'll try the right side here, 4th and goal. And this time Luna tries to take it himself, and he doesn't get there. Great play by Nathaniel Navarro. Navarro sniffed it out from the beginning and dropped Luna in his tracks, and a goal line stand for Ahmad Noor's defense for the Hillcrest Trojans.
I'll tell you what, great stop. And Poly was methodic, ran 80-plus yards there, and didn't get the score. I mean, momentum right now is completely in favor of the Trojans.
Coach Noor was doing a drill with his linebackers when we came out, that it moves, you go drill. And he coached linebackers for a year at Rancho Verde. A couple of those guys went and played on Saturday. So he's experienced with kind of teaching. And, Rancho Verde, obviously, they always have athletes there in Moreno Valley. So Hillcrest offense backed up just in the shadow of their goalpost. First down from the 1-yard line. They have 99 yards to go. And the snap goes over Dominguez's head, and it'll be a safety, 2 points. So at least if you're Poly, you got points out of that drive. It wasn't 7, but you get 2.
You get 2, and you get the ball back. So let's see here if Poly can now change the momentum on a bad play by Hillcrest.
Just a mistake. We talk about it's week 0. These kind of things are going to happen. This is not where you wanted it to happen if you're head coach Travis Carter. So the ball snapped out of the end zone. It'll result in a free kick. So Poly, as you mentioned, will get the ball. And this is strange. Why is Hillcrest lining up? They should be lining up on the other side, right?
Yes, they should. See, first game. Week 0. Yes, everybody in the bleachers are saying they're facing the wrong way. I think, let's see if anybody can figure it out.
Because the officials were caucusing at about the 20. And even the coaches to our left are saying that.
I bet you a sandwich they don't figure it out. Let's see if they get
What kind of sandwich?
Any kind you want, my friend.
What have I been going with recently? I'm trying to think. I've been going pretty old school with just the turkey.
Really?
Turkey was on sale at Ralph's, so I had a bunch of turkey in the fridge, and I like to sprinkle it in my salads, and then every once in a while I'll make a sandwich.
I've been making, I'm back into the bologna and cheese sandwiches.
Well, you have kids. It's different.
See, I've been making lunches every day. You know what I do? Every morning I write little notes to my kids on their lunch bags. My 5-year-old, Luke, can't read, but at least he laughs because I draw pictures. But Johnny, though, very
fast
focused.
Johnny, man.
Fast Johnny's very focused on what Dad is writing on the
And
lunch.
he's very fast.
He's super fast. But, my oldest son, he doesn't care anymore. He just goes over and he drinks coffee.
Connor's like 13 going on 35.
Yeah, and he's.
Or is he 14 now?
No, he's 15.
15, right. He's in high school.
Yeah,
You just told me he's going to Harbor.
Yeah, he's going to Harbor. He's a big-time surfer. How is it that with Mr. Basketball, football, and everything else, I have one son that's a great surfer. I have my Fast Johnny wants to be an actor and a singer, and Luke wants to be a pro golfer.
That's smart. That was you were influencing Luke because you just didn't want him to get the injuries.
No, but see, I don't know anything about any of those things.
It's better that way.
It is.
Isn't it?
I'm a surf dad, a golf dad, and an acting dad.
Think about it. I've read so much about Marv Marinovich, and I realized that, the less a father knows about a sport, generally the kid is better,
Well, I let my kids eat sugar.
Okay.
Remember, yeah, that's true. The Marinovich family, they didn't eat sugar. They go to birthday parties and bring his own sugar-free cakes.
I work with a basketball skill guy who actually said that he actually enjoyed working with Marv Marinovich in terms of the nutrition stuff. He thought it was really good.
Yeah, but if
Now remember, this is a guy who grew up eating sugar, and then he met Marv when he was about 20. A little different.
My kids will eat Reese's peanut butter cups for breakfast if they could.
Daniel DeAnda will kick it away on the free kick. Larry Morris deep, along with Ben Madura for Poly. So a safety recorded at 11:24 of the second quarter after a goal line stand by Hillcrest. So Poly gets a couple of points out of it. Let's see if they can capitalize beyond that. Big drive coming up for Hillcrest's defense as they'll try to turn Poly away.
There's all these old names from Poly. Madura family, very entrenched in Riverside Poly history.
DeAnda with the kick. Fielded by Madura at about the 37. He gets outside and pushed out of bounds before he gets to midfield, and a late flag comes in.
Yep, that'll get him. That's going to tack on some extra yards, I would imagine.
So they're going to call a late hit on that?
I'm with you on that.
I mean, it was late, but he wasn't trying to hurt him. He
Let's
just kind of couldn't get there in time. So now he's out of bounds, and I think that's the late hit. Or maybe that's the late. Maybe 32 is the late hit.
You know, it's inertia. He's just carried him.
I mean, it's the first game.
Yeah.
You're all wound up. Nobody's trying to hurt anybody.
No.
Oh, it's just a hold. Okay. That's okay.
They call a hold, just a hold? Okay, I guess we're good. No, it's not a hold. It's a personal foul. Is that a personal foul?
Yeah. Because
So I
they're moving
guess
the ball
it was-
all the
yeah.
way to the Trojan 38, so a big penalty. And now all of a sudden Poly has an opportunity to get even closer after that goal line stand. From the 38, Luna's going to keep it. Or is he? I got fooled on that one. Instead, Angel Sanchez burrows up to the 31, 7 yards for him, a good gain on first down. Navarro makes the stop, and it's call it second and it's 3, right? Because 4. It is 4. Just behind the 31, you got to get inside. I'm watching the stick. You got to get to the 27. So yeah, 3.5, 4 yards. Sanchez back with Luna, and this time Luna will keep it. And coming down and dropping him immediately, making the play is Joshua Baca. So a third down. 2-yard loss. Call it 3rd and 6. And so we'll get a switch at quarterback. Will Cloak in, trips to the top of the screen. Mekhi Alexander split out. Next to him is Sanchez. Next to him is Bailey Brown. Throw to the outside to Brown, makes the catch at the 30. First down, inside the 30. 25, still fighting. Down at about the 28-yard line. Move the sticks for the Bears.
And a great play. If you watch those receivers, they crisscross, and making that Hillcrest defenders have to pick and choose, and they slip that bottom guy underneath, and a great play there in the flat. Let's see here.
And that's well executed, because I don't know if they fooled anybody, because Brown is the guy they're going to, but the execution obviously is the key there. That's what John Rice talks about with regard to attention to detail.
Yes.
And that was very good attention to detail by both those receivers and also young Will Cloak.
Yeah, great timing, great route running from those other receivers there.
Here's the give to Sanchez up the middle. He runs right into the hands of a Hillcrest defender. He'll get a couple. 2nd and 8 from the 20. So Sanchez kind of banging away at the middle of that defense for the Trojans. Both teams, Jeff, really committed to running between the tackles.
And you got to like that. That's, everybody, it seems, in the last 10 years, everybody's trying to throw the football. And you just got to play to your strengths. If you're young, you throw in Cloak, who can throw the football occasionally. You change it up. You work on going off tackle. So great play calling by both coaches here with this young ball club.
Sanchez, the lone tailback. They'll fling it out to Brown, and Brown runs through the tackle. 20, 15, pushed out of bounds inside the 10-yard line. Coming down the smokestack was Levy Berge trying to knock Bailey down as soon as he caught the football, but as you see there, Bailey able to elude him. Check that, Bailey Brown able to elude him and shoved out there. Did he get inside the 10, just inside the 10?
There was a penalty thrown. It looked like it was deep in that secondary. Let's see what they call it. They're going to call a hold on the Bears. And I think it was deep in that secondary because it was thrown by the back judge. As we see it right there.
Mr. Triplett back out with the crew today.
Ray Triplett, one of my all-time favorite people out refereeing. I want to say it might be his 85th year of refereeing.
He's been there a long time, huh?
He's been there forever.
30 years for sure.
For at least 30. I want to say at least 40, my friend.
So
That's how long I've known Mr. Triplett. I've known him for 50 years. I'm 50 years old. I've known him my whole life.
So the ball moves back to the 16. First down just inside the 13. So second and short.
Great camera crew tonight here. Riverside TV calling just a fantastic view of high school football in Riverside.
Timeout on the field. I believe that's the second timeout exhausted by Riverside Poly and the Bears. Great to be back with you here in Orange Crest at Martin Luther King High. I'm Gazal. He's Jeff. For into the second quarter of this one on Riverside TV. A Riverside matchup. The Hillcrest Trojans against the Poly Bears.
It's great. I'll tell you what, like I said, oldest high school in Riverside to the newest high school in Riverside. Hillcrest showing a lot of success in every sport. You remember Jackson Wood?
Mm-hmm.
That guy over there, the basketball coach, he's won a championship. He's got a 7-footer, a 7'1" kid, I believe only a sophomore or a junior.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
So the basketball team still dominant over at Hillcrest.
Your old player, Jackson Wood.
Great guy.
Making the
one of my favorite people. Just so nice. Reached out several times during the pandemic. He's got a growing family. Just a fantastic human being, and wish him nothing but the best.
Cloak with the handoff. This is Morales picking his way down inside the 5. Dragged down at about the 3. 13-yard pickup on the play by Israel Morales, the young sophomore. Another sophomore tackled him.
Going off those off tackles.
Well, you know, when Bill Powell's in the vicinity, they're going to run power at some point.
Of course. Kind of reminds me of Ken Batdorf over at Norte Vista.
I knew you were going to have to bring that guy up.
Oh, that guy.
Coach Batdorf has been so good to us. Such a nice guy.
He's good to you. He's not good to me.
Cloak to Morales. Morales burrowing in the middle. Is he in? He's in. Touchdown, Poly. So how about that? The safety has now generated 8 points. They got the goal line stand has generated 8 points. Right. They got the safety, now they got a touchdown, and they'll elect to kick here instead of go for 2. Good kicker for Poly as well. Eli Dejaneff punts and kicks for them. So a couple of teams in Riverside with a good kicking game. Low kick, but it's good enough. And it's a 10-9 game.
Close one. Well, you and I were talking about how good a game this was going to be, and it's how wonderful is it to start game 1 on Riverside TV with a close one.
You know, with both young teams, both coaches, you know, when I talked to Coach Rice and when I talked to Coach Carter, they both said, hey, you know, we're both confident in the talent, but, you know, young teams, and Coach Carter used the term, hey, we're gonna take some lumps. We're gonna, you know, have growing pains. And the mistake, you know, the bad snap really kind of have pivoted the trajectory of this game. It looked like Hillcrest was going to gain control. They were up 10-0 at the end of the first quarter, and now here we are, 7:55 to play until the half, and it's a 10-9 ball game in a matter of about 4 minutes.
Yeah, great, like you said, great goal line stop by Hillcrest, and just a simple mistake changes the entire complexity of this ball game. Now, momentum in the favor of the Bears.
And so Dejaneff will tee it up. Back deep are Diego Rodriguez and Trey Williams. And Williams will let it go over his head into the end zone, and they'll play it out at the 20-yard line. So both kickers are weapons.
They definitely are. It's fun to watch this. I love it. You know, next week we're going to have, you know, we were supposed to have a game last night, but there was a COVID situation with Corona High School. You want to laugh at that one. I woke up this morning and I thought about that. And I went, oh, the game was canceled because of Corona. And it was Corona. So everybody, when I was at school today, everybody was making the jokes. Of course, it's not funny, but we will get to see Ramona High School again, I believe this week when they're going to play King High School. So we're going to have Ram High playing against another Big 8 team this next week on Riverside TV.
Ramona and King right here. We'll be back here.
Yeah.
And then I think we have your old buddy on Thursday, right?
Oh, that guy, Ken Batdorf?
The great Ken Batdorf.
Yeah, we have those guys. We've got Norte Vista versus Claremont. And I asked him if there was any McGuire brothers that are family members. And he looked at me like I was crazy. I said, I remember when Dan McGuire was the great quarterback
right.
at Claremont. Brother of Mark McGuire.
Big Mac. A 5-yard penalty makes it 1st and 15. Here's the give up the middle. The dive by Prado gets about 2.5 yards back, and it'll be 2nd and long. If they made a movie about high school football, I would think Ken Batdorf would be played by Jason Momoa. They have the similar vibe, don't they?
It's similar.
I mean, Momoa is taller.
I thought you meant John Goodman.
Oh, wow. I'm sure Coach will love that one. Are they playing right now?
They're playing up at Hesperia High School. In fact, Coach Batdorf and I will be talking nonstop tonight, I'm sure, after his ball game. We'll be up talking till 1 o'clock in the morning.
2nd down. Dominguez pulls it down, trying to get it into space, and he's got some. 25. Pulled down at about the 28-yard line, so close to a first. I don't think he quite got it, but close to a first down. Maybe he got 10 on that play.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing Norte Vista next week. It'd be nice to see them and a good game versus Claremont.
So they mark it officially at the 28th, 3rd and 1 coming up.
But we have 20 high school games this year, Gazal.
Happy to be back, Jeff. Happy to be working with you. 10-9 here. Hillcrest leads Poly as we're about halfway through the second quarter. Game has moved rather quickly. Momentary stoppage. Ray Triplett wants to know something. But yeah, you can go on the Watch Riverside and see the entire slate of games scheduled. Now, obviously, we're dealing with some different circumstances, so things may change as they did Thursday. But pretty good schedule. You get all these teams. We're going to see Hillcrest a couple more times as well. Poly a couple more times. And now movement up front. Let's see if they were drawn. From the direction of the flag, it's going to go against Poly. So 5 yards are given back, and it'll be a first down.
I think every guy in Poly's line there jumped. He's got a shot at a penalty.
And so your friend, Yancey Dotson, gets to earn his paycheck, moving the sticks up.
He's working hard over there.
A lot of first downs thus far. Does he wear a pedometer? I'd be curious to see how many steps he walks in a game. That should be a project we do. Dominguez throws to the outside. Complete. Catch made by Rodriguez, Diego Rodriguez. Maybe 5 yards on the play. Gets up near the 40.
Let's put a. I'll give him my Apple Watch next game. We have Yancey. We'll gauge his steps.
Instead, that was to Trey Williams. So Williams split out to the far side. Trips to the near side. To the bottom of your screen, that's Nehemiah Norwood. The give to Prado, and coming in is Michael Luna. He's all over that. The quarterback, who's also the linebacker, drops Prado for a loss back near the 30. So a couple guys playing on both sides of the football. How do you do? And it lost back to the 32. So call it 3rd and 12. Let's see if Dominguez airs it out here. Dominguez with some pressure. Throws, nearly picked off. That was Luna there again. He threw it late down the sideline. Intended receiver was Nehemiah Norwood. Michael Luna got a couple of hands up and was able to knock the ball away. 4th down coming up for Hillcrest.
Yeah, kind of a questionable toss there. I would have probably just thrown it out of bounds. You're outside the hash.
Joshua Smith with the pressure, and then Jeremiah Luna was in pursuit when Dominguez got rid of the football. And Deonda to kick it away. Larry Morris back to receive. From the 32-yard line of Hillcrest, Morris standing at the Poly, 38. So here's the Deonda kick. He's going to let it go, Will Morris. It'll spin dead at the 30 or 28-yard line. So about a 40-yard kick, no return, and Poly will start the offense up at the 28-yard line. And how about this for a turnabout? Poly's defense has all of a sudden tightened up.
They've really shown some rush on the outside. Those linebackers, they forced Hillcrest to go inside, and that line's been pretty tough here in the last couple drives. And Poly has the football. They've held the ball a lot on offense here in the first half to see if they can run out the last 4.5 minutes to try to get some points out of this.
And John Rice did say, hey, we're going to play some ball control. We want to control the clock. We want to control the football. So in the backfield, Johnny Monforte, and he takes the handoff. No, a fake by Cloak. He'll throw the screen. Intended receiver for Poly, Ben Schneider. 2nd and 10. It's interesting. You watch Ahmad Noor's defense, and it's how the players hold their integrity. You know, they don't get out of position. It's like almost like a chessboard that, hey, this is your part of the field, and do not move. That's I mean. Now the other thing is, Poly's employing a smart strategy. They're just pounding them on the inside because it doesn't matter where somebody is if you have a guy there first.
And you have a funny story maybe you can share with us a little bit about chess and talking to his father.
Oh, yeah. 2nd and 10. Cloak with the play fake. Over the middle, it's complete to the 40-yard line, making the catch for Poly, Kirby Tanner, the tight end. And the sticks move up yet again. Yancey Dotson on the move.
He's getting an extra.
We need to have a graphic up attached to his pedometer so we know exactly how many steps. There you go. That's a feature for you.
That's a great one.
Clock moving towards 4 minutes. It's a 10-9 Hillcrest lead. So Cloak back in at quarterback. Cloak fires the out. Nobody there. Incomplete. 2nd and 10 coming up. So John Rice told you on the coach's perspective he was going to use 2 quarterbacks, and it makes sense because if Luna's playing offense and defense, there'll naturally be times where maybe he's a little gassed, and then you get Cloak in there because he is kind of more traditional drop-back passer.
He's definitely in the pocket, and he's showing some promise throwing the football.
So 2nd and 10 coming up. The give, Angel Sanchez dives near midfield, very close to a first down. I don't think he quite got it, but keeps moving it up.
I've been impressed with Sanchez. I mean, he runs smart. He holds that ball when he gets close, 2 hands, and just tumbles and rumbles and makes his way, gaining some yards.
He's one of those rough and tumble guys. I mean, if he wasn't playing both ways, he'd be one of those guys that can tote the ball 30, 35 times a game, but they go to running back by committee, because they have the talent, but B, Sanchez is really valuable on defense. 3rd and short. Maybe the second effort got it. That was Luna near midfield. Looking with the naked eye looks just short, but let's see if they call for a measurement here. Now they're going to say it's 4th down. So the story I was talking about, Coach Noor, is we have a mutual friend, Michael Martinez, covers high school football out in Orange County, and he told me the story about Coach Noor. That Coach Noor's family's from Afghanistan, and when he started getting into football, his father didn't really get it, but his father's a big chess enthusiast. So to explain the game to his dad, he said, it's chess. Guys need to move certain ways on the field for things to work. It's just like chess. And then, obviously, his pop figured it out then. He said, that makes sense. Running back moves a certain way. The lineman can only – there are rules as to how the lineman can move.
The bishops are the wide receivers.
You're right.
You like that?
You're right. The rooks are the tight ends because they can only move.
That's right.
An interesting analogy. So thank you, Michael Martinez, for that one. And now they're going to call for a measurement. So more steps. Is that Jackson Wood? No.
No, but look at see what happened today is Barry Henniger, who normally works the chain gang, and Kelvin Butler, the great center that played UCLA, they had to call out. So Yancey, the great Yancey Dotson, called in the subs. So head basketball coach at Woodcrest Christian last year, now joined the staff at Poly. And then one of his former basketball players, he said, you got to come out and do the chain gang. But look at Yancey, though, looking so fit. And it looks like it's a first down.
Oh, they're saying just short.
Just short. Camera crew has a good view of that.
It's short by a sneeze.
But Yancey Dotson. Every time I say this, he gets mad at me. I think he's going to win the world championship this year in basketball, and he gets mad if he doesn't win it. But see, I always want him to win because he's one of. And I have maybe 3 friends in my life: you and Yancey, maybe 2 friends. But he's one of my all-time favorites. And when I called him earlier today, I said, "Yancey, you working the game?" And he said, "Yes." And I was, it tickled my heart.
He's a Ramona guy, right?
He is a Ramona guy.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm not implying any bias, but
I think he's wrong for being at Poly. But I mean, I can't fault him because he's a Ramona Ram.
But he's been everywhere. He's coached everywhere, though.
Oh, he's a legend.
It's his 3rd stint at Poly. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, he's the Billy Martin, I said, of Riverside Poly High School. But I mean it in love because every time he's been there, he's done a great job.
So they need to reset the clock is what the delay is about.
Oh, they're yelling at the everybody.
Yeah. We have nothing to do with the clock, sir. That's next door. So it's 2:43, and it's 2. So now they've reset the clock. We do tell the joke, old school versus new school. It's also true of the coaches. So here we go. 4th and a breath. Right at midfield. Luna got it. First down over the left side.
Hey, look at John Rice talking about the tale of 2 coaches.
Running behind Nicholas Padilla and Christian Fuentes, Luna gets the first down.
John Rice has that great gray beard, which I'm really trying hard to get.
I was going to say, so we talk about old school, new school. Travis Carter, he looks like he could be a guest star on Gossip Girl. John Rice, Poseidon in Clash of the Titans. The original Clash of now. John's a Shakespeare man. I don't want to go Greek mythology on him, but the ball's on the turf. It's loose. I believe Cloak gets it back for Poly. A couple of yard loss on the play. Precarious situation after a big first down, nearly a turnover.
Just be lucky he has long arms and he's quick. Oh, he got helmeted too. Great awareness.
So Luna back in for Cloak, and it's going to be 2nd and 13. But
did you hear what Coach Carter told me? He said he was any other job he'd want to be a fighter pilot.
Of course, yeah.
Because he looks like Maverick.
Highway to the danger zone. Alexander to the top of the screen. To the bottom of the screen, Bailey Brown. Luna's going to load it up. Looking down the field for Brown. 1-on-2 coverage. Through his hands, incomplete. Double coverage down the field for Hillcrest. Taking a shot where the Trojans down the field. Kai Alum's one of the men down the field covering for Hillcrest. Also back deep was Levi Murgy. Check that. Anthony Serrano was the cornerback.
Great play call, though.
Yeah. Coach Rice calling the offense. Cagey like a Riverboat gambler. or cagey like the god of the sea, should we say, the great Poseidon. Now, you're old enough to where you saw the original Clash of the Titans.
Oh, I saw it like 6 times.
3rd and 13. Polly from the 48. Luna loading it up. Throw to the outside. It's complete. Bailey Brown with the catch, traverses into Hillcrest territory before he's taken down by Nathaniel Navarro, and 4th down coming up.
I watch anything with Burgess Meredith.
Burgess Meredith, Harry Hamlin, the lovely Ursula Andress. I think she plays Aphrodite in that movie.
She does.
And then, of course, the great Laurence Olivier is Zeus.
That's right. Go home and watch the original, not the newer one. The newer one's okay. My kids liked it, but I like the original.
They're fine films, but it's a different kind of film, right?
It's great.
The 2 new films, they're big-time cinema. The 81 version is like, hey, let's have fun. Let's do this Greek movie, but nobody really wanted to make it. Let's, well, we'll do what we can.
The Kraken. Stop motion.
It's like
Claymation.
when Mrs. Gorham goes out of town and Fast Johnny and Luke want dinner, and Jeff makes dinner with just what's in the fridge, but it's still good.
It's wonderful.
That's the Clash of the Titans. Oh, the lovely Judy Bowker. Don't get me started. A minute 4 left here in the first half. It's 10-9, a big play coming up. Hillcrest got 10 points in the first quarter, but really it's been all Poly. Here in the second quarter, I believe Hillcrest just had 1 3-and-out, correct?
They did.
Because it was the safety, then it was the drive. It was a long drive. Then there was the safety for 1 play. Then there was a long drive by Poly. Then Hillcrest got it back, and now Poly driving. Great game, opening week 0 game between a couple of Riverside schools. Here we go, 4th and 5. Luna at quarterback, Sanchez to his left, the setback. Now empty. How about that? Luna in trouble, and down he goes. First man there with the contact, Gabriel Luna. So some Luna on Luna crime there as Gabriel Luna tackles Michael Luna, ball over on downs. And that's another aspect of Coach Noor's defense. Man, they're aggressive. They fly to the football in bunches.
And they got him good.
I think Luna is a crafty runner, and he's a hard runner. He's a tough runner. But 5-on-1 is too much. What's the line in Karate Kid? 1-on-1 problem, okay.
Yes.
4-on-1 problem, too much for anyone.
Exactly.
The late Pat Morita. So now Hillcrest, their offense has been stuck in gear for a little bit, and part of that is some of the adjustments made on defense by Poly. So let's see if they can muster something here. Under a minute to play in the first half. Dominguez on the run, but a flag comes in. I think somebody might have moved when they weren't supposed to. That whole chess analogy coming back. I think a rook went sideways, or went diagonally instead of sideways. Imagine if they had penalties in chess, how that would be.
Be awesome.
Again, you're old enough to remember this. Remember the old Saturday Night Live? I think it was Jim Belushi plays the chess coach. And you coach, so you can appreciate that.
Yes, I do.
And they're playing chess on a basketball court.
Yes. Oh.
So the foul or the penalty on Hillcrest, it'll move back into Hillcrest territory, a false start on the Trojans. So a couple of seconds tick off. Still plenty of time. The Trojans have all 3 of their timeouts. So let's see what Coach Carter does here on this final drive. Prado in the backfield for the Trojans, along with Christian Pontremoli. Dominguez to throw, looking down the field. 1-on-1. Bailey Brown takes it away from Trey Williams. Bailey Brown there for the big play for Poly, the interception and the turnover. You get another look.
That ball was just thrown a little too high.
Yeah, maybe a little too much air under it. But nice one-on-one play there. Brown turning, looking for the ball. Young Trey Williams nearly came away with that. Brown just secured it on the way down for the pick. It'll be about the 25-yard line where Poly will tee it up. So what do you do here if you're John Rice? You try to shoot downfield, Jeff?
Sure. Early in the season, you test that secondary maybe. 49 seconds on the clock. Couple plays here.
So that's Mekhi Alexander to the bottom of your screen. In the near slot is Bailey Brown. Luna rolling. Luna throwing down the field. Complete to Brown at about the 35. Jumps out of bounds near the 40. So 15-yard completion, 1st and 10. Yancey on the move.
Yancey's moving. He's got 8,000 steps.
So 13-yard pickup. They'll spot it at the 38-yard line of Poly. Clock stops as they reset the ball for the first down. 1 timeout left for the Bears. So now the chains are reset. The clock should be starting. Little hometown clock management here. The clock should have started. Well, did they change the rule? Is it on the snap now?
I'm not too sure.
Maybe I'm thinking the college rule. Luna. Luna gets greeted rather harshly, gets a couple of yards there.
That was not a nice way to say hello.
Jesus Gomez, number 61. Just look at him ride it out, and then his buddies show up. That was like the scene in The Karate Kid. 2nd and 8. Luna steps back, and the snap forgot the ball. So a flag comes in. I think that might have been a snap count deal. $10-9, been a good one here, Jeff.
Hey, I'll tell you what, this is wonderful compared to, some of the games we've seen last year that were kind of just thrown together.
I mean, it's not fair because teams had different levels of practice.
It was just, this is a true high school football game. A game we both thought was going to be a close one.
Yeah,
similar brand of football and young guys. But we knew they'd play pretty much mistake-free football, which we've seen. It's been a quick first half here.
So ball moves back to the 36 of Poly. They trail this one by 1. 16 seconds to play. Let's see what they do here. They're going to put it in the air. Here comes pressure. Luna trying to step up. He eludes the first wave of the rush, and they'll blow the play dead. Good pressure coming from Hillcrest. They're doing a nice job. They got some stunts and some twists going up front.
Yeah, those outside guys are really getting to the quarterback.
And, Luna's doing a nice job eluding them, but good coverage downfield that time. And the clock runs out. The first half comes to an end. 10-9. The Trojans jumped out early, all 10 of their points coming in the first quarter. Poly scoring all 9 of their points, Jeff, in the second quarter.
And I'll tell you what, it was really both teams played very well in that half. I will say this, Riverside Poly, once they kind of had the momentum going, they controlled the clock. They ran a smart offense. But I'll tell you, Hillcrest right there to match them on defense along the way.
And sometimes, we were joking on the field with the coaches before the game. Sometimes coaches will give you coach speak, right?
Yes.
But both these guys said what they meant. John Rice said, hey, we want to control the clock. We want to control the ball. Travis Carter said, hey, I think we're okay. I like our talent. We're going to make some mistakes. There are going to be some growing pains. They were both spot on.
They were, perfect. And we didn't get any coach speak. And we've had ourselves a great, great football game in week 0.
Trojans on top of the Bears 10-9. We'll step out now for the halftime festivities. Jeff and I will back with you with some highlights in the second half after this. This is the high school football game of the week on Riverside TV.
My name is Melissa Olmos, and I'm a driver operator in the Department of Refuse for the City of Riverside, and I've been doing this for 4 months already. I really enjoy it because this job is not like a routine, so every day is different. So I'm assigned to do the bookings. The residents call to the city to be serviced, and these items is large furniture, mattress, and appliance. The residents, they have 2 times a year, and these items, I put it in the back of the packer, and the packer crashes and compact these items so I can take it to the dump. My favorite part of the job is driving the truck. Since I was younger, my dream was to be a driver. And now that the city of Riverside gave me this opportunity, I really enjoy it. I'm really proud of what I do because when I go to the residents' houses, I see the faces, they're happy because we're picking up the items they don't want anymore. So I try to get in here because this is a better job for me with a better stability. And I wanted to because I want to set a good example for my 2 daughters that I have. One of my hobbies that I have is go hiking. I like the outside activities like camping, and I also enjoy riding motorcycles. If I have to describe my job in one word, it will be perfect.
Engine 1 AMR, respond with RPD for a traffic accident with injuries. In 1234 Main, cross of Columbia, 2 vehicles involved.
Each year, the Riverside City Fire Department responds to 40,000 emergency calls.
431.
And the men and women of the Riverside Police Department drive Code 3 every day.
We need your help so you know what to do when you see emergency vehicles.
Pull to the right.
Pull to the right.
Pull to the right. So help us help you.
We need you to pull to the right. We are proud of the Riverside Police Department's tradition of integrity, service, and excellence. RPD officers are disciplined, well-trained professionals who always lean forward to make our community safer and more livable. We are always looking for mature, educated men and women who want to apply their courage and judgment to serve the people of Riverside. If that's who you are, we want to talk to you.
Today is our very first building of a Little Free Pantry. We are building a Little Free Pantry in our community. It will be one of the 26 throughout Riverside that will help fill the gaps of food scarcity here in Riverside. Data is telling us now that 1 in 6 families are hungry. It's about 44% of adults and about 50% of children that are hungry here within our own neighborhood, in our own backyard.
Because of the pandemic, there's a lot of hunger out there. There's a lot of families in need, and we hope that this will act as a bridge until families are able to get the food that they need. I think that there are always those times where we are living paycheck to paycheck and we need just a few cans of something to get us by. So these little pantries will serve in that capacity, and we're really excited to see something that will help families in need.
And this has been a wonderful collaboration with the Riverside Mutual Aid Network, IEHP, here at Sandals Church, and the City of Riverside. So this has been a fantastic opportunity for community members to step up and to fill a real void in our city, which is food insecurity. So the idea is that if one of these free little pantries in your neighborhood, you could stock it as frequently or as infrequently as you want to. And the idea behind it is that when people have extra food, it doesn't go to waste.
these pantries are just kind of the first step, right, for reintroducing neighbors back to each other, getting folks involved in taking care of each other again, and just strengthening those community bonds that Riverside is so known for. Because things like food drives and food distributions, they're really good, but they only help folks in that moment of need. And we wanted to create something that would continue giving back 5, 10, 15 years from now, and really allow the community to get back into taking care of each other instead of maybe relying on, just government or nonprofit structures to kind of take care of them.
If others want to follow suit, they can apply at riversideca.gov/cares is an application, or they can email us at neighbor@riversideca.gov to receive an application to host a little free pantry in their neighborhood.
My name is Melissa Olmos, and I'm a driver operator in the Department of Refuse for the City of Riverside, and I've been doing this for 4 months already. I really enjoy it because this job is not like a routine, so every day is different. So I'm assigned to do the bookings. The residents call to the city to be serviced, and these items is large furniture, mattress, and appliance. The residents, they have 2 times a year, and these items, I put it in the back of the packer, and the packer crashes and compact these items so I can take it to the dump. My favorite part of the job is driving the truck. Since I was younger, my dream was to be a driver. And now that the City of Riverside gave me this opportunity, I really enjoy it. I'm really proud of what I do because when I go to the residents' houses, I see the faces, they're happy because we're picking up the items they don't want anymore. So I try to get in here because this is a better job for me with a better stability. And I want to too because I want to set a good example for my 2 daughters that I have. One of my hobbies that I have is go hiking. I like the outside activities like camping, and I also enjoy riding motorcycles. If I have to describe my job in one word, it will be perfect.
Engine 1 AMR, respond with RPD for a traffic accident with injuries. In 1234 Main, cross of Columbia, 2 vehicles involved.
Each year, the Riverside City Fire Department responds to 40,000 emergency calls.
431. And the men and women of the Riverside Police Department drive Code 3 every day.
We need your help, so you know what to do when you see emergency vehicles.
Pull to the right.
Pull to the right.
Pull to the right. So help us help you.
We need you to pull to the right. We are proud of the Riverside Police Department's tradition of integrity, service, and excellence. RPD officers are disciplined, well-trained professionals who always lean forward to make our community safer and more livable. We are always looking for mature, educated men and women who want to apply their courage and judgment to serve the people of Riverside. If that's who you are, we want to talk to you.
our very first building of a little free pantry. We are building a little free pantry in our community. It will be one of the 26 throughout Riverside that will help fill the gaps of food scarcity here in Riverside. Data is telling us now that 1 in 6 families are hungry. It's about 44% of adults and about 50% of children that are hungry here within our own neighborhood, in our own backyard.
Because of the pandemic, there's a lot of hunger out there. There's a lot of families in need, and we hope that this will act as a bridge until families are able to get the food that they need. I think that there are always those times where we are living paycheck to paycheck and we need just a few cans of something to get us by. So these little pantries will serve in that capacity, and we're really excited to see something that will help families in need.
And this has been a wonderful collaboration with the Riverside Mutual Aid Network, IEHP, here at Sandals Church, and the City of Riverside. So this has been a fantastic opportunity for community members to step up and to fill a real void in our city, which is food insecurity. So the idea is that if one of these free little pantries in your neighborhood, you could stock it as frequently or as infrequently as you want to. And the idea behind it is that when people have extra food, it doesn't go to waste.
These pantries are just kind of the first step, right, for reintroducing neighbors back to each other, getting folks involved in taking care of each other again, and just strengthening those community bonds that Riverside is so known for. Because things like food drives and food distributions, they're really good, but they only help folks in that moment of need. And we wanted to create something that would continue giving back 5, 10, 15 years from now, and really allow the community to get back into taking care of each other, instead of maybe relying on, just government or nonprofit structures to kind of take care of them.
If others want to follow suit, they can apply at riversideca.gov/cares as an application, or they can email us at neighbor@riversideca.gov to receive an application to host a little free pantry in their neighborhood.
My name is Melissa Olmos, and I'm a driver operator in the Department of Refuse for the City of Riverside, and I've been doing this for 4 months already. I really enjoy it because this job is not like a routine, so every day is different. So I'm assigned to do the bookings. The residents call to the city to be serviced, and these items is large furniture, mattress, and appliance. The residents, they have 2 times a year, and these items, I put it in the back of the packer, and the packer crashes and compact these items so I can take it to the dump. My favorite part of the job is driving the truck. Since I was younger, my dream was to be a driver. And now that the City of Riverside gave me this opportunity, I really enjoy it. I'm really proud of what I do because when I go to the residents' houses, I see the faces, they're happy because we're picking up the items they don't want anymore. So I try to get in here because this is a better job for me with a better stability. And I want to too because I want to set a good example for my 2 daughters that I have. One of my hobbies that I have is go hiking. I like the outside activities like camping, and I also enjoy riding motorcycles. If I have to describe my job in one word, it will be it's perfect.
Engine 1 AMR, respond with RPD for a traffic accident with injuries. In 1234 Main, cross of Columbia, 2 vehicles involved.
Each year, the Riverside City Fire Department responds to 40,000 emergency calls.
431.
And the men and women of the Riverside Police Department drive Code 3 every day.
We need your help, so you know what to do when you see emergency vehicles.
Pull to the right.
Pull to the right.
Pull to the right. So help us help you.
We need you to pull to the right. We are proud of the Riverside Police Department's tradition of integrity, service, and excellence. RPD officers are disciplined, well-trained professionals who always lean forward to make our community safer and more livable. We are always looking for mature, educated men and women who want to apply their courage and judgment to serve the people of Riverside. If that's who you are, we want to talk to you.
Today is our very first building of a little free pantry.
Welcome back. I was really enjoying the video about building a pantry, Jeff. It's about to start the second half here. 10-9 Hillcrest leads. Hillcrest with 10 points in the first quarter, 33-yard field goal by Daniel Deando, and then a 50-yard run by Jonathan Prado put them up 10-0. But then at 11:24 the second quarter, the ball sailed over quarterback Caleb Dominguez's head, and it was ruled a safety. And then Israel Morales, a 3-yard run at 7:55 to play in the second quarter. And that's how we stand here, 10-9.
Yeah, both teams played pretty darn good, I thought. You know, for such a young ball club, mistake-free football. Defensively, both teams showed some strength on the line, but just a couple big plays really, you know, that's really been the game. It's just 2 touchdowns.
Larry Morris back deep for Poly along with Ben Madura. And Daniel Deando will kick it off. We mentioned earlier, soccer player for Hillcrest. Tremendous athlete, according to head coach Travis Carter. Happy to have him on the program, with the program.
Yeah, I love those guys. We talked at halftime. You and I were talking how important it is for these kickers. And, you know, it can really change the complexity of the game, and we've seen it.
And to be fair, you're a big fan of kickers.
I love it. I love special
especially
teams.
Alvord School District kickers. You love them.
I love those guys. They're pacifists, though. They don't like to tackle. Let's see if this young man likes to tackle. But another great kick.
Come out to the 20. I think we've seen 2 on each side, right?
Yes.
2 kickoffs into the end zone on each side. So 1st and 10 from the 20, and Poly really had the momentum going into the second half. Let's see if they can sustain it. See what kind of adjustments both teams made at halftime. John Rice on the offense for Riverside Poly, and Travis Carter, of course, the head coach at Hillcrest. Ahmad Noor, his defensive coordinator, and they're out on defense here to start the second half.
Yeah, and my concern here would be in the second half is the conditioning of both teams. Let's see who gets tired and who can make mistakes being so tired. Let's see who can turn this second half into a victory.
Bailey Brown to the top of your screen in motion. Here's the give, and he's pounded it down right away. Maybe a loss of a couple of yards on the play for the ball carrier for Poly. That's Israel Morales. He was the man with the touchdown. So 2.5-yard loss. 2nd down and 12 coming up.
A little off tackle there, a little double wing action almost.
I mean, we've seen the interior of that defense. You know, Joshua Backus, Sebastian Miranda, those 2 guys in the middle have been really effective for Hillcrest. 2nd and 12. This time Luna gets outside and near the first down, tackled there by Trey Williams. Trey Williams, the last line of defense. He gets the loss back and nearly got a first down, stopped inside the 30-yard line.
Yeah, just really quick hands by Luna. Showed the fake and just went into a different mode there, almost in the 4th gear. But a great ball fake.
And
40 extra yards.
your guy Yancey Dotson can stay put, but maybe not for long. 3rd and short. Yancey Dotson, if you didn't join us in the first half, he is the chain gang, the gentleman you see standing at the 20 with the Hawaiian shirt. And he got a lot of, let's say he got a lot of mileage in the first half.
He's got to be tired. He's going to have to go home and ice those knees.
3rd and short. Luna takes it himself. Initial tackle, or at least initial contact made in the backfield by Joshua Baca. And they've just been pinning the ears back and coming at him on that option. Baca quickly into the backfield, 4th down coming up.
Gotta like it. Smash mouth football at its finest, both teams.
Hey, good second effort there, though, by Luna. It looked like the loss was going to be a little more significant. He managed to surge up and maybe get back to the line of scrimmage. Still 4th and very short. Now, we saw the goal line stand earlier. This is a little more precarious. If Hillcrest can get a stop here, they'd have the ball in Poly territory. So let's see what the Bears do.
It's a huge play here in the second half.
Sanchez, 1st down and more. Sanchez to the outside, gets outside the 40. He's upended there by Anthony Serrano, but a 1st down, about a 10-yard pickup for the Bears.
And there you go. I'll tell you what. The big fella, Nick Padilla, really made that hole there. What a great play from those O-linemen.
All the big boys up front. You mentioned Padilla, James Luna up there, Enrique Guzman, and the Fuentes brothers, Christian and Jacob, moving the pile. And that was about a 12-yard pickup all the way to the 42. So 1st down for Poly. Luna with the give. Sanchez again to midfield. Pulled down from his ankles by Levi Murgy, and another close to another 1st down, not quite a 1st down. Almost there, another 9 yards, so our good friend Yancey Dotson can stay put for another moment at least. Now they're saying, I spoke too soon. Now they're moving the 6. So the ball on the Hillcrest side of the field, and the offensive line, the big boys, getting great push for the Bears.
This is what the Bears did in the second quarter. They played methodical, smart football. They're eating up a lot of clock here.
Mekhi Alexander to the top of your screen. In the far slot is Bailey Brown. They'll give to the big fella. Sanchez pounding. Out of bounds at about the 35. What did we talk about in the first half? Now, Angel Sanchez plays both ways. Plays linebacker on defense, and he plays running back on offense. And we said, he's a kind of guy who didn't have to play defense, probably would carry the ball 30, 35 times a game. And I think John Rice said, listen, big fella.
You're playing.
In the second half, we're going to try to keep the clock moving, so we'll get you your rest, but you're going to tote the ball a whole lot. And he's been really effective on this drive.
Well, I've been really impressed with his first step. You don't talk about that much with big guys like that, but he has such a quick first step that he's off to the races.
Definite size advantage, it looks like, for the offensive line of Poly. I think they picked up on that, and they said, hey, let's just go pound him. And Luna to throw, middle of the field, complete, down to the 22-yard line. Ethan Jackson, the tight end, makes the reception. Another pickup about 10 yards. Sticks move up again.
But they're really staying in the middle of the field, running, passing.
Yeah.
Everything is derived in the middle of the field, and you got to like it. Maybe it'll be able to spread the field out a bit here. You tighten it up.
So 15 yards on that pass completion, and Bill Powell and John Rice kind of mixing it up. And by the way, Bill Powell's down on the field. That skinny guy standing kind of next to Coach Rice, that's Bill Powell down there.
He looks like a weeping willow. He's a reed. He's so thin now. He's lost so much weight.
1st and 10. Luna takes the snap directly, and he'll get stood up. Defense surging for Hillcrest. Adam Polito steps up there for Hillcrest. He got some help as well from Isaac Alvarado on the stop. So maybe the line of scrimmage, maybe a yard loss there. Clock continues to move. 2nd down coming up.
We have a score. Norda Vista is up 29-7 in the third quarter over Hesperia. Eddie Elaine with 4 touchdowns.
Now, Uwe, he runs just like Freddie Holly. That won't be the last time I make that joke. For all our Weezer fans in the audience. 2nd and 11. Here's the misdirection, the fake handoff. Luna keeps it. Luna inside the 15, finally tackled at the 10-yard line. Another 12-yard pickup from Michael Luna. When your big boys are firing off, the misdirection or the deception helps as Williams kind of brings him down right at the 10-yard line. So I think they can still get a first down.
I'm still laughing about you, Freddie.
Were you a Weezer guy back in the day?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's 1st and goal. They got just inside the 10. I thought it was outside, but favorable spot. Sanchez behind Luna. Here's the give. Sanchez up the gut into the end zone. Powerful run there. 10-yard touchdown run. Another 80-yard drive for the Bears.
80-yard drive, and I'll tell you what, darn near 7 minutes off the clock. So a great, great drive by the Bears.
And 16 unanswered points for Poly. Well, 15. We got to wait for the PAT, but I think Eli Dejaneuf will put it through the uprights. Both kickers have been impressive this evening. Week 0 matchup between a couple of Riverside schools. PAT is good. Now it's 16-10 in favor of Poly.
So the Bears did what they did in the second quarter. Maintain the clock, push the ball up the field, running it up the gut, keeping it in the center of the field. And I'll tell you, they're looking pretty darn good for this young ball club.
Like Marsha Brady once said, 1-2, tell me who are you, the Bears. And the Bears are telling us who they are this evening, Jeff Gorham.
Oh.
Were you a Brady Bunch guy when you were a kid?
F-
We all were.
F-F-F-I-L-L-L.
That's right, Fillmore Junior High.
There you go. Hey, man. I'm still a Brady Bunch guy. I got my kids hooked on Gilligan.
What a great show. What a wonderful show. Diego Rodriguez and Trey Williams deep. Dejaneuf back in to kick it away. Hillcrest now, they need to respond. They're down 16-10, 16 unanswered points for the Bears. And it's interesting, fortunes flipped after their goal line stand.
That's right.
Safety to kind of turn things around for Poly.
And they really haven't had the ball very much since that first
I think
quarter.
1 3 and out, right?
Yes.
Rodriguez from inside the 10 to the 20, accelerating through one tackle, but won't get through the second. Makes up to the 30, so a 22-yard return for Diego Rodriguez, and that's where Hillcrest will tee it up. And let's see what kind of adjustment they make. Check that again. That's Trey Williams. That's 8, not 6. And tackling him over the top was Luke Metzger. So now Travis Carter got to reach into his bag of tricks. He runs the offense for Hillcrest.
Ex-quarterback himself.
Yeah, played for Coach Mush, right?
Yes, he did.
Caleb Dominguez, the senior quarterback for Hillcrest. His older brother Elijah was a big-time player for John Brandom a couple of years back when the Trojans won the River Valley League. Here's the end around. Eludes the first tackle, and then a nice gain on first down by Brandon Zabato. And Coach Carter is high on him, thinks he's got a high ceiling, and good block there. Nice job by Prado holding off the on-rushing Stokely, who I've been impressed. Keaton Stokely, a young player on the defense for Poly, he's been around the football.
Yes, he has. We've seen his number and his name throughout this ball game.
So trips to the near side for Poly. Top of your screen is Trey Williams. Another high snap. And the give to Prado, and down he goes. Little delay. Coming right down the middle for Poly. I think it was Israel Morales on the tackle. A lot of two-way players for the Bears.
Right there, outside, inside, they are everywhere. Bears right there on the play.
You know, we've talked a lot about the offensive line for Poly. The defensive line also playing well. We mentioned Stokely earlier. occupying blockers and allowing the linebackers to come through and make some plays.
They've been showing 4, 5, 6 guys on that line, kind of showing rush here at these quarterback.
3rd and 7 from the 33 for Hillcrest. Dominguez gives the ball to Prado, trying to twist out of the grasp, and he can't. Coming through and making the play for Poly, A.J. Perez Renteria. So 4th down, and Hillcrest will need to give it up. Another 3 and out. And Poly has really dominated physically.
Well, they really, the term, they've come out and they've punched them in the face.
Right.
And honestly, it's, they played Heritage last week and Orange Vista in a scrimmage.
Both physical teams.
Very physical teams. And, talking with those coaches, they said Poly came out and punched them in the mouth and played really, really tough football.
And, physicality has just been something that Hillcrest has really been known for recently. Tajon Henderson is back deep for Poly. Deanda to kick it away. And I've been impressed by Deanda today. Punting and kicking kickoffs. He even has a field goal. Punt is short. They'll let it bounce. And see, this is what happens. That's the football karma. It's going to roll dead inside the 30-yard line. So it'll be a 40-yard kick, even though he didn't get it well off his foot, because the respect they had for him.
And it looks like this year we might be seeing what we saw a couple years ago. Nobody's returning kicks. Ken Batdorf doesn't even remember. He didn't even have a guy ever return.
I was wondering how long it was going to be for you to bring up Batdorf again.
Oh, man. He's winning right now. That means he's going to call me all night.
You guys are rivals, kind of. You're like Javert and Valjean from Les Miserables. You'd be Valjean.
Yeah, I'm really into Hamilton right now, so he's more Aaron Burr, I guess. Sir, Aaron Burr.
Keeping it is Luna. Luna has some room up the middle, but dragged down from behind. The first hand in there to bring him down for Hillcrest, Christian Pontremoli.
Now, have you seen Hamilton yet?
I've heard all the songs. I need to go. It's playing in Hollywood. I need to go see it.
Oh,
I love the Wayne Brady's Aaron Burr. Are you Aaron Burr, sir? Who was asking? Talk less, smile more.
Oh, I know.
Never let them know what you're against and what you're for.
You've been listening in the car like I have, Gonzalo. I'm happy for you.
2nd and 3 as we give you a little bit of a history lesson. Here's Sanchez up the middle. He's open. 2nd level for him. He's rumbling down inside the 20.
He turned on him like it was Shark Week. He was going to eat him.
Sanchez with a 44-yard run down to the 21-yard line.
I love this kid. He's so quick.
I mean, he parts those 2 defensive backs, and he's off to the races.
Now watch. He's going to turn, and he's going to eat this guy.
I mean, he's one of those guys. He wants contact. It's almost like he's disappointed that he's fast.
He just said, I'm going to turn, and I'm going to great white shark you and eat you. He said, I'm going to eat you, I'm going to beat you, and I'm going to mistreat you. And then I'm going to cook you up and eat you.
So officially spotted at the 22. Luna takes it himself. And Luna still surging, fighting down to the 15, 7-yard pickup on 1st down. And they're just firing off behind the big boys up front. And let's give credit where credit is due.
Poly is in a groove.
Padilla and Christian Fuentes on the left side. Guzman, Jacob Fuentes, and James Luna also in there. I thought Keaton Stokely getting a play or 2 as well on the offensive line. But I mean, that's where this game is turned. Once those guys dug in, Jeff.
Yeah, and they just got used to playing the game. I think at the beginning, both teams were a little shy, getting after it.
Morales trying to pick his way behind the big boys. And I'll tell you this, he gets down to the 10-yard line. It's not as if Hillcrest has not been applying resistance, because they have. They've been pretty physical inside. It's just that I think the superior size of Poly has kind of started to take factor here in the second half as we're a minute left in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, because I really do feel Hillcrest is going to be, one of those teams in the River Valley League mix for a championship. But have you seen a team in Riverside that has made a jump so big in the last 2 years that we've seen at Riverside Poly.
Yeah, I mean, they John Rice has the personnel he's ready for, and they've adjusted to the personnel. And it's interesting. We'll talk after this play. First and goal from the 10. On the turf, Sanchez had it. Who did they recover it? Was he down is the question. And no, it's going to be Hillcrest football. So the takeaway by the Trojan defense is a big takeaway here with 25 seconds left in the third quarter. And now Hillcrest, they need to generate something on offense.
Let's see if they can do it. They haven't done much in the last couple of series.
So it's funny. There are two ways to look at this, right? So I think in the third quarter, the Trojans have had one drive, one 3-and-out drive.
That's right.
So that's the bad news. The good news is it's a one-score game.
Exactly.
So the ball to the 10-yard line and Hillcrest offense out there. And remember, they are playing without two of their key players. That's another factor perhaps in this one. Here's the give. Fighting is Prado, and Prado had the big 50-yard run. So they're starting running back Christian Pinnell, tweaked an ankle, not available. And then one of their starters up front, Malu Tata, their offensive lineman who also plays some defense. He also unavailable today as the third quarter comes to an end here at Martin Luther King High. The Slugfest in Orange Crest, Jeff Gorham.
Oh, I like that. I like that. That needs to be on a T-shirt.
It could be any game played here.
Well, we're going to be here next week. We have Ram High versus King. We're going to see Jason McMains make his debut as the football coach at Martin Luther King High School.
Your alma mater against the alma mater of Kawhi Leonard, who, now everybody takes credit for discovering Kawhi Leonard. Let me tell you, folks, unequivocally, the man who discovered Kawhi Leonard is Jeff Gorham. I mean, he didn't discover him. He called Steve Fisher and said, hey,
sign him tomorrow.
This kid just dropped 48 on me. You got to sign him.
I called him the night we played him. I said, this guy, and Kawhi, they said, at the time was the third or fourth best player on his team.
Because Eric Wise was on that team,
Eric
right?
Wise was on that team.
Tony Snell?
Tony Snell, but they also had their point guard who played at Utah and was the Pac-12 Player of the Year, Carlin Brown.
Oh, that's right. I remember Carlin Brown.
And you had another guy on that team named Kawhi Leonard, and I said, this guy, I didn't know he was an NBA player, but I sure thought he would have been great. And I think he ended up being pretty good for Steve Fisher at San Diego State.
Yeah, and San Diego State back then wasn't what they are now.
No. But see, he took my advice. I gave him Marcus Slaughter out of North High School, was his first all-conference player. I gave him his best one ever.
2nd and 4 coming up from Hillcrest from the 16. They need to generate some offense here. They trail 16-10. So a touchdown for Poly in the third quarter, no score for Hillcrest. Hillcrest hasn't scored since early in the first quarter when it was Jonathan Prado with a 50-yard run.
And everything, in that first quarter was outside. They ran outside. They haven't gone outside because Poly's really kept them in the middle of the field.
2nd down. Give up the middle, running inside again. Eluding the first tackle is Prado, still on his feet. Pounds down over the 25. Flag comes in on the play. So let's sort out the penalty. Usually when it's thrown on that side of the field, it means holding, but we don't know as of yet.
Yeah, it looks like there were 2 or 3 flags thrown there. And I think it's going to be holding. Blocking the back.
So ball goes back to the 10-yard line of Hillcrest. They need to get over the 20, so it'll be 2nd and about 11. If you're looking at, you can't see Yancey Dotson on the screen. I can see him from where I'm sitting. He's standing just outside the 21. Prado, and a little miscommunication there between Dominguez and Prado, and down he goes. Making the play is Ethan Jackson in the backfield for Poly defensively. And then there's a little bit of miscommunication. I thought maybe Dominguez was trying to fake and Prado took the football. So a couple of yard loss back to the 8-yard line there, 3rd down and 12. And, hey, the Poly defense, maybe it's not the Hillcrest offense, Jeff. Maybe it's just the Poly defense.
Like I said, I haven't seen a team really make this big a jump as we've seen Poly in the last 2 years. And they just seem to be organized and disciplined. And that's something that you really got to have in high school football.
Dominguez with the give, and back to the original line of scrimmage. Michael Luna, we've seen him play on offense, makes a play there on defense. So Prado is a two-way guy, and Luna comes in, bada bing, bada boom, and drops him in his tracks, and 4th down. Well, the bad news for Hillcrest is you got to punt. The good news is at least we'll get to see Daniel Diondo again.
The great kickers. You know, and we've seen Hillcrest over the last couple of years. They've had the luxury of, they've been able to get guys pass. Their passing game has been great in the last couple of years.
That's a good kick. Morris at midfield is going to go. He's going to make a nice play at about the 42-yard line. So 38-yard kick. Here goes Morris. And Morris inside the 30 before he's brought down. And great field position coming up for Poly. Morris angles to the outside. And finally not brought down until Anthony Serrano gets there. And Diondo was waiting to make the hit if he needed to. So the ball at the 25, a 32-yard return by Morris after a 38-yard kick. So not much of a net there for Hillcrest. So here you go. Here's the test. If you're the Hillcrest defense, here's the test. You got to make a play now. You made a play deep in your territory earlier. Now you got to make another play and try to stop Poly. And if I know Bill Powell and John Rice, I think we're going to see a steady diet of Angel Sanchez here. Sanchez up the middle. And again, standing him up. Nathaniel Navarro, they say they have the football, but I think Sanchez was down.
Yeah, they're going to call dead ball here.
I mean, how do you like the big boys? I mean, Pontremoli, Baca, Navarro, Luna, Scroggins. That front 7 for Hillcrest has been really good tonight.
They've been great up front. It's just we haven't seen those offensive weapons. They're young guys, and like I said, missing 2 key cogs of that offense. But, they'll learn. They've got good athletes.
And to be fair, Travis Carter said this to us before the game. He said, listen, I want to win every game, but I think he thinks this team's going to peak when they get to league.
Exactly.
That's what he thinks. They're young. They don't have the game experience. Luna to throw. Oh, what a hit there. Oh, my. I think that's going to be incomplete. They're hoping they want to call the fumble. Levi Murgy laid the wood there. Let's watch that again. Intended receiver on the play, Ben Schneider. So 3rd down coming up. And Ahmad Noor, the defensive coordinator for Hillcrest, the new coordinator, I'll tell you what, his guys know how to hit. I'll tell you that.
Man, we've seen 3 or 4 hits that these Bears are going to be feeling in the morning. They're going to hibernate a little longer tonight.
I remember when I started doing broadcasting many years ago, one of the first coaches I worked with was the great Bruce Rollinson of modern day, and he would describe that play as that Levi Murgy showed up in a bad mood. And, he's got that graph, showed up in a bad mood. So 3rd down coming up from the 27 of Hillcrest. What do you think, Jeff? Is this 4-down territory for them?
Yes.
Luna. Looking, throwing. Complete. They've done a great job in the middle of the field. Ethan Jackson, Johnny on the spot with a 1st down reception.
Yeah, we mentioned, they have gone to the middle of the field the entire night and testing that secondary among 5 players. A great pass there from Luna.
And maybe I was premature. I wanted your guy, Yancey Dotson, to move. Oh, now they're going to move him. I thought they ruled him short of the 1st down. His pedometer's clicking.
Man, he's moving.
So 14-yard pickup to the 13 of Hillcrest. A clutch 3rd down play.
Big play.
Clock moving. We're in the 4th quarter. 16-10, Poly leads Hillcrest. Been a good one on week 0. double tight end set. 1st and 10. Sanchez right up the middle. Breaks through the first level and then stumbles down at about the 7. So 6-yard pickup on first down. Clock again continues to move. And this is a big score for the Bears. Whether it's 3 or 7, this could be the coup de grace. Because their defense has been stifling with regard to the Hillcrest offense.
Yeah, they have kept Hillcrest literally null and void and in the middle of the field since that first quarter.
And I talked to John Rice this week, and he said, hey, he's like, I feel good because, we're good. We have talent. But he also says, we're the healthiest we've been since I've been here.
And that's always nice. You can start the season with no injuries. You've done a good job.
I mean, he's had 3 or 4 different guys carry the ball. And obviously the offensive line has played very well tonight. And here's Sanchez again diving forward and just stopped in front of the goal line. So clock, they want to keep the clock moving. And now they'll get 2 shots from inside the 5.
Look at Sanchez with a little vertical here. Watch this.
Get him on the basketball team. How about that?
Look at that.
Airborne. Here we go. And the knee comes down.
It's kind of built like Earl Campbell.
That's a blast. I was trying to think what's a good description. Yeah, Campbell kind of rumbled a little bit. He's, for a big guy, he's pretty fluid. He's
Very
a linebacker, yeah.
I'm telling you, man, he's got the greatest first step I've seen of a lot of guys in a while. He's so quick on that first step. They're going to go to him again.
3rd down.
Maybe not.
Luna in for the touchdown. So at 6:40 of the 4th quarter, Luna runs it in. And that could be it. That could be the coup de grace as the lead extends now. Well, you know what? They're still within 2 scores. They're going to go for the PAT. Dijanev on to kick it away. And he puts it through the upright, so it's a 23-10 game. That's another thing with having good kickers is teams don't unnecessarily go for 2.
You don't have to.
Yeah.
If you just want to get points on the board. We have an updated score in North Vista up 36-7 in the fourth quarter.
Well, looking ahead to next week, and all these obviously are protocol pending, but Thursday we have Novi against Claremont. Correct?
Yes.
And then
correct.
Friday we're back here for Ram High and King, 2 more Riverside schools.
It's going to be another great week.
An extravaganza, if you will, a bouillabaisse of football action.
A veritable plethora.
It's good.
A plethora?
From the 5, here comes Trey Williams. Williams into second gear. Williams to the 30. Sideline, gets past the kicker. Now he's on the sideline and tightrope walk down till the 30. I think he got just inside the 30-yard line, so how about that return?
That's a big play right there.
72-yard, it gets by the kicker, Dijanev, and then is doing the tightrope walk and finally gets pulled down, saving the touchdown, Antonio Silvario for Poly. Okay, so the ball spotted at the 30 of Poly, and Williams just turns it on. And he was a guy that Travis Carter was telling us about, still young, but he's really confident that he'll, by the end of the year, be a threat. So let's see if they can get that score back, meaning the Trojans. Finally, with some good field position to throw, Dominguez. Throws to the outside, nearly picked off. Sitting in coverage. How about Angel Sanchez?
Man, I'll tell you what, this has been the Sanchez show. But, I want to go back to Hillcrest here. They've been successful, like I said, when they've gone outside and avoided the middle. They do have breakaway speed. But all their big plays tonight have been gone on the outside of the field.
So if you're looking for speed, Trey Williams to the top of your screen. Dominguez under pressure, stepping up, still on his feet, and now down at the line of scrimmage will bring up third down. So Adam Polito back in the backfield. And clock continues to move. 3rd and 10 from the 30 for Hillcrest. Jaden Bishop to the bottom of your screen. Hillcrest. Here's the comeback. Caught at the 30-yard line and pulled down immediately, and then a flag comes in. Reception made by Nehemiah Norwood. Tackle made by Jeremiah Luna. Let's see what the flag's all about. So flag came in late. Could be a block in the back or the officials commiserating.
Oh.
Defensive holding.
Defensive holding, yeah.
So, and more importantly, it gives it a first down. I mean, gives Hillcrest a first down inside the 20. Still time, 5:32 to play.
If you're Hillcrest, you score. You almost have to go to an onside kick because Poly will just hold the football.
The Trojans ran out to a 10-0 lead, 23 unanswered points for the Bears since. And it, ironically, the game flipped on a goal line stand by Hillcrest. First and 10, officially the 16. Shifting into position is Polito. Here comes the jailbreak, and down he goes, meaning Dominguez at the 20. The sack on the play recorded by Michael Luna. So Luna running for touchdowns and now making plays. Gets the sack on Caleb Dominguez. Dominguez in the spring played a little wide receiver, had to jump out to quarterback because his team needed him. Mentioned his older brother Elijah, probably remember from that 2018 championship team.
Great player.
River Valley League. Throwing for the end zone. Incomplete. Intended receiver downfield was Brandon Zabato.
That would have been a big play right there.
Third down coming up. Got to make that play in a tight game like this. But Dominguez to Zabatos, who Coach Carter is high on. I guarantee you in week 6 or 7 they make that play. Week 0 yet. They're still learning, young guys.
Yeah, and I think the big term we both used was, and for both coaches, was youth. And both these teams, young, but I tell you, the future's bright for both of these programs.
Third down. He's got time, but nobody's open. He'll just tuck it under and run. First down for Caleb Dominguez inside the 10-yard line. So that's good recognition there by Dominguez. When he saw nobody was open, he said, well, there's a whole patch of green in front of me, and I'm going to go take it right to the marker. There's our friend Yancey Dodson.
Look at Yancey, looks good.
So first and goal from the 6 for Hillcrest. Clock stops as well with 4:22 to play. Talking with Travis Carter, he seems pretty happy here at Hillcrest.
Loves it. I think the school community loves Travis Carter as well.
Dominguez pulls it down. Dominguez throwing it, and it's a touchdown. And that goes to Trey Williams with the reception. So Dominguez buying some time. John Rice Jr. on the pursuit and kind of leaves his feet to throw, and wide open is Williams. And he made that play, bought some time, and then the coverage broke down a little bit, and finally just made the throw. Not a lot of margin for error. Touchdown Trojans, and it's a one-score game. So DeAnda on for the PAT. We both talked with Coach Rice, and Coach Carter. If you didn't watch the coach's perspective, it's on YouTube with the Riverside City channel. Jeff Gorham, great interviews with both Coach Carter and Coach Rice. PAT is good. So 23-17, so a little strategy here. But both coaches pointed out, hey, our Frosh Soft teams went 5-0.
Yes.
Hillcrest went 5-0, and Poly went 5-0. So a lot of those players now on this varsity level, and it's about what you'd expect. It's a one-score game. Remember, we mentioned Hillcrest playing without a couple of key guys, but still, I've been impressed by what Poly has done tonight.
Yeah, like I said, I think they've made the biggest jump of any Riverside team we've seen in a few years. They just, there's a different aura. And I think last year we saw a little bit of it is they want to win. And now the winning is here. Now they just have to continue to get better and better every week, as Coach Rice told us. He said, I just want to get better every single week. If you start against a River Valley League champion and you get a victory here, that can say a lot for the rest of your season.
That is true. Hillcrest in the River Valley League, Jeff, they've won 16 of their last 17.
That's incredible.
They're kind of the new power. I don't want to get your buddy Ken Batdorf upset, but they look like the new power right now.
We can upset him. That's okay. He can take it. He's a big boy.
Deanda, who's been impressive all night, booms it deep. This one will be returnable, though. Morris dives for it. That's a live football. Dives for it at the 13-yard line. Bearing down on him was Murgy. And that's where Poly will start it off. So if the defense can make a play here, Hillcrest could put themselves in a position to win this one in thrilling fashion.
Yes, they can. A little confused there. Did somebody touch the ball? I don't know why he'd dive on it, but.
Well, it's a live ball on a kickoff.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
So from the 14. And now Ahmad Noor, his defense, they've held steady. I mean, Riverside Poly has run the ball well between the tackles, but, I mean, it's kind of been mano-a-mano. It hasn't been a strategic thing. It's just been those big boys up front are just shooting off for Poly. But here we go. Now the game's on the line, so there's a bit of urgency, and the front seven has been pretty good for Hillcrest as well. Pontremoli, Baca, Miranda, Scroggins, Navarro, Luna, Polito. Remember, playing without Malu Tata. First down. And I think you get a steady diet of Sanchez. He rumbles over the 20-yard line, 7-yard pickup on first down, and the key for Poly is to keep the clock moving.
They're going to have to keep the clock moving. But I'll tell you what, anytime you have a team, as talented, history-wise, you can't ever count out Hillcrest. Hillcrest has won so many ball games the last 2 years. They know how to win. They know how to make stops.
I mean, and listen, and they've made plays, but I mean, right now, all you're doing is you're going to, take the snap, hand the ball to Sanchez, and they're going to run in the middle of the field.
Yes, they are.
2nd and 3 coming up.
Put 11 in the box, stop Sanchez.
Here's the give. Sanchez first down. Just surges forward over the 25. There's Yancey Dotson on the move.
He's at 9,000 steps now.
Tackle on the play.
I was going to say Yancey never looked better. You know why? He's got that mask on. I saw him before the game. I go, man, you never look better. You look so young. And then he was wearing a mask, I realized. His eyes looked amazing, though.
I forget that. There was I was at a store today and somebody was looking for a reaction and I laughed, but my mask was on, so they couldn't tell that I laughed. And the guy's like, "Come on, that was funny." I'm like, "No, I laughed, but you just didn't see it because I had the mask on." Luna keeping it. First down run to the 30 of Poly, and the clock continues to wind down.
I've kind of enjoyed wearing a mask.
I have
can
too.
handle it. I'm much better looking with a mask on.
It annoyed me at first, but after a while I started to feel like one of those actors in the original Charlton Heston Planet of the Apes, and I would just pretend to be like Dr. Zaius, Because, they had to wear the makeup.
Yes.
I didn't have to wear makeup. I just put a mask on.
Just put a mask on.
Are you on Instagram, Jeff?
No,
Oh,
I am.
I was going to say, if you are, a great follow is the comedian Dana Gould has an account as Dr. Zayas. And it's hysterical. He's a funny guy.
Oh.
It's Dr. Zayas as a nighttime talk show host.
That might have to get me back on Instagram just for that.
Sanchez goes down at the line of scrimmage, and the clock continues to move, and timeout. Travis Carter has all 3 of his timeouts.
Yeah, during the pandemic, I think I've become more of an artsy, folksy kind of guy, kind of a hippie-ish.
You and Ramey, you've been hanging around Ramey too much.
All I do is I watch a little bit of TV, but I read a lot more. But I've stayed off my phone.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. It's always better.
I can't believe, I think my brain cells, I might be a little smarter or I might be a little dumber. I don't know, but I do know that I'm never on my phone anymore. I'm playing with my kids. I taught my kids how to ride his bike and tie his shoes.
It's fun.
I even make my kids, they go out and play now. We're playing stickball on our street.
How was Luke's birthday, by the way? Luke had a birthday a couple weeks ago,
yeah,
right?
we did indoor skydiving.
Oh, nice.
Have you ever done that?
I've seen it. I've not done it myself. I've seen there's a place they do it down in Orange County.
Yeah, there's a place out here in Paris.
Okay.
Not Paris, France, but Paris. And we did the indoor skydiving, and I got to float around for 2 minutes. 2 minutes of floating. And it was sweet.
So 3rd down coming up, and a big play. So a timeout called by Travis Carter, and Hillcrest would love to get the ball back. Now, they haven't been able to do much against the Poly defense, particularly here in the second half. That touchdown they just scored at 4:22 broke 23 straight points by Poly. So it was 10-0 Hillcrest, and Poly 23 unanswered. Then the short 6-yard pass from Dominguez to Trey Williams came at 4:22 of the fourth quarter.
That's a big 3rd down right now.
From the 30. And now the final timeout will be exhausted by John Rice. So some strategery going on here, a little chess match. We mentioned earlier, Travis Carter looks like he could be a guest star on Gossip Girl. Shout out to my UCLA classmate, Felicia Henderson, executive producer of Gossip Girl. I'm doing Riverside TV, and she's the executive producer on Gossip Girl. And none of us knew how big it was going to be. We're like, oh, well, nice, you got a job.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, there's this huge show among the young set. And then, of course, our good friend John Rice looks like Poseidon from the original Clash of the Titans. Poseidon was the one who released the Kraken. Zeus said release the Kraken, but he couldn't release the Kraken himself. He needed Poseidon,
that's right,
the god of the sea, to do so.
Travis Carter, Gossip Girl.
No. Hillcrest has 2 timeouts. So Hillcrest has 2 remaining. The Bears, that's their 3rd. Oh, you know what? Maybe I'm wrong because they used them in the first half. So maybe they do have one. They have 1 left. So here we go. It looks like Cloak in at quarterback, trips to the bottom of the screen. Double tight end set. Here we go. Cloak to throw. Cloak throwing. Complete. First down. Bailey Brown with the reception.
That is the same play we saw in the second quarter on the right side where they ran the 3 receivers. There's the chess match right there. The exact same play.
Clutch play. John Rice looked at the defense, made the timeout call, and then a big play by the young quarterback, Will Cloak. The 2-quarterback platoon has worked well for Poly. We haven't seen much of Cloak in the second half. But here he is again. First down, give to Sanchez. Middle of the field again, effective strategy. About 4 yards. Clock continues to move. So timeout Travis Carter and Hillcrest. Just a reminder, next week we're back on Thursday from Zach Erp Stadium for Norda Vista against Claremont. And then Friday we're back here at Martin Luther King High School. Jeff Gorham and myself will be on the call at King Ramona.
Timeout by, said Hillcrest.
Trojans, they're the second. So 1 timeout left for Travis Carter. It looks like Poly does have 2 left. Yeah, I was mistaken because they used, I think, 1 or 2 in the first half, none yet in the second half. You get a fresh you never called timeout when you were a basketball coach.
No.
Yeah.
I wanted to go home. I was tired of getting beat. I wanted to go home. No, I rarely called it. I did in my early years, but then I started running that goofy system stuff, so there was no point. Just go out and run around.
2nd and 7 with 72 ticks remaining. Poly trying to secure their first win of the year. Give to Sanchez, rumbling over the middle. Gets contact, but he drags 2 tacklers with him to midfield. Very close to another first down. Clock continues to run. So 1 timeout left, and he'll use it. Will Travis Carter.
I'm telling you, he is a great white shark out there. Or a bull shark. What sounds meaner?
Wasn't there a golfer called the Great? Greg Norman's the Great White Shark.
He is the Great White Shark.
He's not the Great White Shark. He's the Great White Shack because he's
That's
Australian.
Right.
It's very different.
He's married to Chris Everett.
I did not know that.
Yeah, she's no longer Chris Everett Lloyd. She's Chris Everett, Great White Shark.
It's funny because you grew up doing watching sports and stuff. Were you ever a women's tennis fan?
I've always been a women's tennis fan.
Well, because there's a great and I stumbled upon it. There's a great 30 for 30, and it's about Martina Navratilova and Chris Everett. It's called like Unmatched or something like that,
yes.
right?
Yes.
And so I grew up listening to sports talk radio in New York, and one of the guys I listened to, he said his first job out of college was he worked for Billie Jean King, and one of the first things he had to do was pick up Martina Navratilova to the airport. And Martina Navratilova was about 17 years old.
Yeah.
And so they asked him, well, where did you take her? She said, the first place she wanted to go was McDonald's.
Really?
Yeah. And so I watched this thing, and they talk about that. 1 minute to go. 3rd and 1 for Poly. The give to Sanchez, and he's got it. Second effort, and he breaks away out of bounds at about the 32. So an 18-yard pickup, and that should do it. No more timeouts left for Hillcrest. And, Sanchez may be close to 200 yards on the night.
Chumming the waters, man.
He's one of those guys, like we saw it earlier, he would rather run into you than run around you.
Yes.
He just wants the contact.
I fear watching him.
Boom.
Yeah, I was a big tennis fan, but, I'm going to go out of the box. My favorite women's tennis player of all time, Yvonne Goolagong.
Okay, that's a great name. Yeah. But anyway, they talk about how I didn't realize they knew each other from the juniors because they were always playing in the same event.
Yeah.
So they were friends very early before Martina defected. And I didn't know that from what was then Czechoslovakia. 1st and 10 for Poly, trying to wrap this up from the 32. Cloak to throw. He throws to the outside. It's complete, and that's a smart play. Just diving down is Bailey Brown. Clock continues to run. That's 6 yards on the completion. And Brown, his whole motivation is just to keep the clock running, and a well-deserved victory for the Bears. They did a great job responding to circumstances.
Yeah, really good game plan. Great adjustments by both, by the coaching staff of Riverside Poly.
Yeah, kneel down by Cloak. I'll tell you what, if you're a Hillcrest fan, they'll get there. I think Hillcrest, like Coach Carter said, he said, hey, we're going to go through some growing pains, but he believes in this team, and he believes, I think, once they get to River Valley League play, they'll be okay.
Yes.
But, hey, tip your cap. We've known John Rice for many years. We're both very fond of him. Great to see Coach Rice start the year off with a W.
Yeah, and it really is. This was an undertaking when he took over. Poly football was not great.
Yeah.
And
but I'm going to give a shout. Derek DeWitt kind of laid the foundation.
He really did.
He took a couple of years to kind of relay the foundation, and then John Rice and Bill Powell were both on his staff,
yeah.
And then John Rice took the handoff, and he's put his own. Now listen, he's put his own signature stamp on this club, and they're kind of playing the kind of football he likes to play.
Yeah, and like I said, the jump that we've seen from this team has been really impressive, and it's the hard work and dedication of those players that Coach Rice and Coach Powell have.
You said it in the open. It's buy-in. It's about buy-in. And you guys were having a conversation on the field about matters not really related to football, but just in terms of classroom stuff,
Yeah.
and that's really important. And that was the interesting thing. That's what Coach DeWitt was talking about when he got here. And
Yes.
I think finally now with Coach Rice in place, they've been able to get to that in both places, on the field and in the classroom, have kind of met. That twain shall now meet.
Yes, and I'll tell you, it's nice to see, you watch these games, watch both teams on the sideline. Both teams, both players are so focused on the game, They're not up looking in the stands at their girlfriends and they are focused on the game, and this was a phenomenal first game of the year.
Final tonight, Old School 23, Riverside Poly opened in 1897, Hillcrest 17 opened in 2013. For Jeff Gorham and our entire award-winning Riverside TV crew, my name is Ghazal Hassan. We'll talk to you on Thursday. So long, everybody.